Hello everyone and welcome to my Soap Twist 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. According to the bold and the beautiful spoilers, Luna Nozawa's killer may still be at large on the CBS drama. It's possible that in turn Dylan confessed to a crime she did not commit. Is Hayes' former art teacher planning a weird hoax on the Forrester crew? Continue reading to find out. Here's what's happening this week on BNB, with spoilers below. Is Dylan a Forrester superfan? Dylan has been shadowing Electra Forrester, Linnea Grace, and Will Spencer Jr., Crew Morrow, for weeks, working as an unpaid intern at Forrester Creations. She is clearly a struggling student who does not come from a wealthy family. Otherwise, she would not be playing art instructor on the beach with Hayes Forrester in her spare time. Who knows what additional jobs she has had to take on to make ends meet. Luna Nozawa, Lisa Yamada, was undoubtedly the most despised lady in Los Angeles, and Dylan even had a terrifying encounter with her. Did Dylan see cash signs when she saw Luna sprinting across the street? If Dylan has been obsessed with being the next Electra Forrester or Steffi Forrester, Jacqueline McInnes would. Eliminating their mutual enemy appears to be a certain way to gain their attention. Steffi ensures Dylan's compensation this week on The Bold and the Beautiful. Spoilers reveal that Steffi will encounter Luna's killer when she arrives to apologize to Finn. Obviously, Steffi will remember Dylan from her time at the office and working with her kid. Steffi is relieved that Luna is no longer alive. She can't pay Dylan for vehicular manslaughter, but she can ensure that her career grows at Forrester Creations. Hayes' mother might even give her a little extra for her Christmas bonus this year. Dylan may benefit greatly from taking down Luna and putting an end to her reign of terror. Could that have prompted her to confess to the crime, even if she did not commit it? Luna didn't have to worry about going to jail because the person who had run her down would not be charged. But if Dylan is simply a clout chaser who actually hit the inmate with their automobile that night, The Bold and the Beautiful has never shied away from plunging its audience headfirst into mayhem, but the last 2 months have felt like the writers strapped dynamite to the fourth wall and ignited the fuse simply to see how much we all screamed. Luna Nozawa has died. Actually dead. Not fallen down a mine shaft and presumed death. Not plastic surgery in Europe dead, but zipped into a body bag, toes tagged, autopsy pending dead. And the man who pulled the trigger, twice, because the first bullet apparently wasn't dramatic enough, is a walking red sign named Dylan Neal, a supposed old friend of Poppy's who arrived in Los Angeles with a duffel bag, a dodgy grin, and a tail so flimsy it could double as tissue paper. But here's where the rug is pulled so violently that half the audience is still on their backs. Dylan isn't just some random vagabond with a grudge and a Glock. According to sources deeper than Steffi's eyeliner, Dylan Neal is no stranger to the canvas. He is a family member. Logan family. And when the DNA results are finally released, because, of course, there are DNA findings, this is bold, not a documentary. The name on the paternity line will cause jaws to drop harder than Ridge hitting the tarmac after yet another chopper accident. Dylan Neal is the long-lost son of Donna Logan and Justin Barber. Yes, that's Justin Barber. Dollar Bill Spencer's former right-hand man, the man who once buried Ridge alive for amusement, and the one who can smirk his way out of a murder charge before the commercial break. Donna and Justin's brief, torrid reunion in 2011, the one the show pretended didn't happen since Eric was hovering with oatmeal and sympathy, appears to have left behind more than just awkward Thanksgiving dinners. It left a child. Donna either never knew about the child or, more likely, paid a very discreet adoption agency to make it disappear the moment she heard Eric Forrester's ring was back in play, and having a surprise baby with Bill's former enforcer was not on the Forrester Creations mood board. Fast forward 20 years, and that baby has grown into a 6'2" jerk with daddy issues sharper than Liam's flip-flopping heart. Dylan didn't fall into Poppy and Luna's orbit by chance. He has been watching, planning, waiting for the right opportunity to enter the Logan extended world and exact the revenge and money he believes he has been denied his entire life. Think about it. Every move he's made since coming in Los Angeles. It stinks of long-term strategy. Befriending Poppy at that shady music festival? This is not a coincidence. Knowing exactly what buttons to press to get Luna alone in that warehouse?
practiced.
The way he cried on Poppy's shoulder about his tragic orphanage past while inserting a tracker into Luna's phone? Ice cold. This individual did not get up one day and decide to conduct a double killing for fun. He's held this animosity since the day he discovered the adoption papers with Donna Logan's signature scrawled at the bottom, next to a check made out to a Nevada adoption attorney. And the motivation goes much beyond. Mommy didn't love me. Dylan grew up assuming Bill Spencer was his father, since Justin, being Justin, certainly boasted about his proximity to Spencer Money several times. Imagine growing up believing you were the secret Spencer heir, only to realize at the age of 18 that you are not only not a Spencer, but also the unwelcome outcome of your mother's one-night fling with her brother-in-law's henchman while engaged to a billionaire. That is not trauma. That is a lifetime film trilogy with a body count. So Dylan did what any sensible, well-adjusted person would do. He devised a whole con to make the Logans pay. Literally. According to sources, he has been siphoning money from Luna's trust, which Bill set up when he thought she was his daughter, for months, rerouting it through Cayman Islands-based shell businesses. Killing Luna was more than simply vengeance. It was also a cleanup operation. With Luna gone, the trust falls to Poppy, and with Poppy currently in a lunatic ward raving about the nice man who gave her special mints, guess who has power of attorney documents notarized and ready in his backpack? But here's where things gets deliciously twisted. Dylan isn't just won the money. He wants the family to understand who he is when he takes it. This is why he remains in Los Angeles rather than fleeing to a non-extradition country with a piña colada and fake mustache. He wants to sit across from Donna at the Thanksgiving table while Eric carves the turkey and nonchalantly says, "Pass the gravy, Mom." He wants Bill to choke on his scotch when he discovers the man who murdered his potential daughter is the son of his ex-lawyer and ex-sister-in-law. He wants Brooke to grip her pearls so tightly that she petitions for independence. And he's not finished. Not even close. Insiders swear Dylan's next strategy includes wooing Hope. Of course it does. This is Hope Logan, a professional boundary disintegrator. What's the goal? Get her pregnant, marry her in a quick Vegas ceremony, and then reveal his true parentage on the wedding day, ensuring that any future Logan Spencer Forrester babies have a trace of Justin Barber's DNA in the gene pool. It's diabolical. It's crazy. Bradley Bell probably gave himself a high five in the mirror when he saw how flawlessly bold and the beautiful it was. But what about the real kicker? Dylan might not be working alone. There have been rumblings, quiet ones, like those from craft services at 3 a.m. when the crew thinks no one is listening, about Justin's son for years. That he was the one who first pointed Dylan toward Luna. That the warehouse where Luna died was not at random. It was the same location Justin used to keep evidence when working for Spencer Publications. Father and son, once reunited, bonded over their mutual dislike of the Logans and a shared passion for committing felonies while dressed in tailored suits. If that's correct, Donna isn't about to realize she has a psychopath for a son. She's about to discover that her baby daddy has been playing 4D chess with her family for decades. And when Katie eventually digs up the paper trail, because Katie always digs up everything, usually while wearing a blazer 2 sizes too serious, the aftermath will make Sheila Carter's greatest hits look like a toddler tantrum. Mark my words, by the time Dylan's true identity is revealed, which will most likely happen during February sweeps with a DNA reveal staged in the Forrester living room because nothing says family meeting like a coffee table paternity test, half of the canvas will be related to him in ways that would make Maury Povich blush. Steffi will shout about the Logan infestation. Ridge will vow to leave town again but won't. Liam will experience an identity problem because there is now a 40% probability Dylan is also his half-brother. And Bill? Bill will most likely try to purchase Dylan a yacht to deter him from shooting anyone else in his increasingly convoluted family tree. Buckle up, soap aficionados. The boy who killed Luna is more than just a murderer. He is a Logan by blood, a Barber by breeding, and a one-man wrecking ball aimed squarely at the core of every heritage family in Los Angeles. Dylan Neal did not come here to make friends. He came to claim a birthright that no one had ever given him, and he's willing to burn down the entire city to do it. And honestly, After everything the Logans have put the Forresters through over the years, some of us may simply hand him the matches. Dylan's oddly serene demeanor, strangely timed appearance, and persistently polished appeal have troubled viewers of the bold and the beautiful for weeks now. At first, he appeared to be any other newcomer. Gorgeous, soft-spoken, discreet, and pleased to be accepted into Luna's orbit. But the longer the camera focused on his eyes, the more fans noticed the deadened stillness beneath the surface. Something seemed wrong. Something wasn't right. And, as the plot progressed, the mystery surrounding Dylan grew into one of the show's most fascinating arcs in years. Luna, still reeling from tragedy, found solace in the one person who seemed to understand her anguish without forcing her to relive it. However, viewers immediately saw that Dylan's empathy was almost too perfect, too cleverly worded, too well-timed, and overly rehearsed. The concept that he arrived as a benevolent emotional anchor is becoming increasingly unlikely, especially as additional details reveal a much darker truth about his ambitions, agenda, and the identity of those who fostered him. There is a disturbing hypothesis circulating among the fanbase. Dylan is not just damaged or emotionally disconnected, but a full-fledged scam artist who purposefully entered Luna's tragedy for personal gain. What appeared to be affectionate assistance may have been part of a larger plan to abuse a vulnerable young woman and profit from the mayhem around her. As the pieces fall into place, the revelation of Dylan's true origin heightens the tension and escalates the stakes for everyone involved. Luna is at the center of this complex web, her life upended by a horrific catastrophe that has left her grappling with guilt, loss, and unresolved questions. In the aftermath, she clung to any hand offered to her, and Dylan's was the one she grabbed. His timing was impeccable, almost too perfect. He appeared exactly when her defenses were down, and her need for connection was at its peak. It was as if he had been watching her from the shadows, waiting for the moment when she was most likely to relax her guard. Even the way he approached her seemed suspiciously staged. He did not run into her casually or meet her in a social setting. He inserted himself quietly but deliberately, appearing on the outskirts of emotionally charged scenes, offering mysterious but comforting lines at precisely the right times, always implying that he understood her in ways no one else could. Fans raised their eyebrows almost immediately. How could a complete stranger know so much about Luna's inner turmoil? How could he anticipate her fears before she expressed them? Dylan was anticipating Luna's grief, rather than reacting to it. And that is not instinct. That is strategy. If Dylan is a con artist, the question is, what does he want? Rumors suggest that he is positioning himself to profit financially from the aftermath of Luna's trauma. There are rumors that he has been collecting information on settlements, insurance payouts, family wealth, and legal vulnerabilities. In scenes where Luna breaks down emotionally, Dylan can often be seen subtly guiding the conversation, steering her toward feelings of guilt, helplessness, and dependency. The more she relies on him, the easier it becomes for him to manipulate her decisions and potentially her finances. But what makes the storyline even more explosive is the emerging revelation about Dylan's parents. Viewers have long speculated that he couldn't possibly be acting alone. His cold precision, his sophisticated manipulation, and his uncanny ability to read wealthy families all point to someone trained, someone groomed. And the recent hints offered by the writers confirm that Dylan's background is far more twisted, layered, and dangerous than anyone anticipated. Shockingly, the truth appears to be that Dylan is the son of two notorious schemers whose identities are about to rewrite everything fans thought they knew. For years, these two individuals have lingered at the edges of the show's lore, master manipulators, opportunists, and emotional predators who view the wealthy Los Angeles elite as chess pieces in a long-running game. Their fingerprints are all over past scandals, but never before have they acted through a child. If Dylan really is their offspring, it explains everything: his psychological detachment, his emotional mimicry, his polished charm, and his laser-sharp ability to exploit broken people. Growing up in a household defined by deceit would have shaped Dylan into someone who doesn't just understand manipulation, he was raised on it. His parents may have trained him from childhood to read microexpressions, to anticipate emotional responses, and to ingratiate himself with the people who control the wealth and power they covet. That kind of upbringing doesn't create a normal, feeling adult. It creates someone who views empathy as a tool, intimacy as leverage, and tragedy as opportunity. This theory also clarifies Dylan's near-obsessive focus on Luna. She is not just a grieving young woman. She's a gateway to a powerful circle of influence, prestige, and financial security. Her vulnerability is a weakness he intends to exploit, her grief a smokescreen he can hide behind. While everyone else sees Luna as a survivor navigating trauma, Dylan sees her as a stepping stone to the life he believes he deserves. What makes the storyline even more disturbing is how expertly Dylan has isolated her. He subtly undermines her relationships, plants seeds of doubt, and positions himself as the only person who truly understands her. This is classic predatory behavior, and fans who have watched long enough recognize the pattern. The writers appear to be crafting a psychological thriller nested inside the soap's traditional glamour, giving viewers a slow-burn villain whose danger lies not in violence, but in emotional infiltration. But the real question remains: how far will Dylan go? If he was willing to embed himself in Luna's grief, leverage her pain, and potentially manipulate her into financial vulnerability, what's the next step? Would he be willing to frame someone else for wrongdoing? Fabricate evidence? Push Luna deeper into emotional dependence until she cannot distinguish his influence from her own will? And what role are his parents playing behind the scenes? Given their history, it's entirely possible they orchestrated Dylan's arrival with surgical precision. They may be directing him from afar, feeding him intel, influencing his moves. Luna could be merely one target on a much larger board, and her wealthy connections may be the ultimate prize. If that's the case, the danger extends far beyond her. The entire Forrester and Logan families could find themselves ensnared in a long con decades in the making. The twist about Dylan's lineage also opens the door to a dramatic identity reveal, a hallmark of the soap. Viewers may soon discover that characters they once trusted, dismissed, or even forgot have re-entered the narrative through Dylan's presence. His parents could be people with deep grudges, unresolved vendettas, or long-standing rivalries with the central families. Their return through their son would be a brilliant narrative choice, subtle, insidious, and devastatingly effective. Meanwhile, Luna's emotional state is reaching a breaking point. She is fragile, overwhelmed, and desperate for stability. That weakness makes Dylan's developing control even more scary. His presence creates a creeping tension in every scene they share because viewers can see the trap closing even as Luna cannot. The difficulty here is that Luna sincerely believes Dylan is helping her heal. She has no idea she is traveling deeper into a psychological maze designed expressly for her. Other characters are starting to sense something is awry, though. Sharp-eyed fans have seen how Steffi, RJ, and Evenly have exchanged apprehensive glances when Dylan enters the room. This kind of intuition is frequently the forerunner of a major exposé. Someone will dig, confront him, and find proof that will shatter the entire facade. When it happens, the impact will be catastrophic for Luna, for Dylan, and for the families their lives are interwoven with. The discovery of Dylan's origin will almost likely spark a new conflict, reawaken old ghosts, and bring long-buried secrets back to light. The Forrester Creations empire has withstood many storms, but a deliberate infiltration by a family of con artists could test its stability like never before. If Dylan's parents seek retribution, fortune, or social supremacy through their son, the show is heading into a multi-layered war that merges psychological drama with high-stakes familial conflict. And yet, in typical soap tradition, there is the prospect of a sad, humanizing twist. Sometimes the most deadly characters on the bold and the beautiful are also the most wounded. It's possible Dylan didn't select this path, that he was trained, coerced, or misled by those who were supposed to keep him safe. If his parents shaped him into a weapon, he could be both the villain and a victim. That intricacy might make him one of the show's most interesting anti-heroes, a man caught between the identity he was raised to represent and the person he has the potential to become. However, the devastation he is wreaking cannot be overlooked. Luna's future hangs in the balance, and each step she takes deeper into his spell makes it more difficult for her to recover control of her life. When the truth is revealed, as it undoubtedly will be, the emotional impact for her will be enormous. She will have to face not just Dylan's betrayal, but also the agonizing revelation that the comfort she relied on was a falsehood designed to exploit her misery. For the time being, viewers can only watch as the story threads tighten gradually. Dylan's charm is fading by the day, and flaws in his mask are beginning to appear. His frightening quiet grows more menacing with each episode, as the truth about his parents' origins hangs like a thunder cloud waiting to break. When it occurs, Luna will not be the only one at risk. The disadvantage will become more apparent. Lies will multiply. The past will return. And Dylan, the polished stranger with a vacuous grin, might become one of the series' most memorable antagonists. The countdown has started. Luna's world is shrinking. Dylan's trap is tightening. And the unveiling of his parents could be the moment that flips the entire program upside down.